Hello everybody. Out of the universe of progressive thinking comes the political vigilante. You've tuned in. Why? Because you're not an idiot. If you haven't, cut your cable. Don't listen to those jackwagons. And go to my Patreon page. If you're paying $100 a month for cable and whatever else, cut it in half. Like cut the cord and then take half of that money and spread it out to me and a couple other cool shows that you want to support. Right? And then you're saving money, you're not giving money to the corporate media, and you're getting to hear stuff like this. I don't think CNN or MSNBC or Fox are going to be telling you this. The Green Party's positions on statewide propositions. Now this is for California, the CaliforniaGreens.org. So if you're in the state of California, there's a bunch of ballot measures or propositions as they call them in California. And I'm going to tell you what the Green Party, what their position on them are. Take it or leave it. But if you're not in California, please know that there's probably a site like this for every state, depending on how active. And then I'm going to go into some candidates in California. But I want you, if you're living in California and you're trying to figure out what should I do on this ballot measure and that one, here we go. And again, if you don't agree with it, cool. But this is just the Green Party, the propositions that they're opposing and endorsing, basically. Because there's about 10 of them, I think. Endorse Proposition 1. This is the Veterans Affordable Housing Bond Act of 2018. So this is a good, and again, in the show notes below is this website. So when you click on each one of these, it'll explain the whole proposition. Now you should get your voting materials should have already been mailed to you, but if you still want more information, in the show notes, when you click on each one of these green proposition numbers, it'll open up the entire proposition and tell you what it is and go into detail so you can make your own decisions if you need be. But this is a little helpful guide that many of you are Greens, or at least are down with the Green Party. And I don't register as a Green, but I'm down with, this is helpful. No on Proposition 2, the Committee on Budget, No Place Like Home Act of 2018. All right. And oppose Proposition 3, authorizes bond to fund projects for water supply and quality watershed, fish, wildlife, water conveyance, groundwater, and storage. Now this is an interesting issue because this is talking about giving us cleaner water and collecting rainwater, which is an important thing. So when LA was built, over 100 years ago, they just built these they took these rivers and paved them over. And so whenever it rains, everything just flows into the ocean. It's awful. I can't go surfing for 3 days after it rains. They've started to build here by like the Santa Monica Pier. They have what's called the Santa Monica Urban Runoff Facility, where they take rainwater, clean it, and put it back in. So we're going to be facing more droughts here, as we talked about with Mitchell Health. So we need to reclaim more of the water. This is a proposition that a bond to fund the projects for water supply, but the Green Party is not, they want to oppose it. So I would suggest, I'm going to do this too, to go click on this and read it through and make your own decision on what you think. Because I was kind of in favor of this proposition, but the fact that they're not, I want to get more information. So make your own decision, because maybe it's just a misuse of money. I don't know. The mayor endorses it. They endorse Prop 4, authorizes bonds funding construction of hospitals, protecting children's health care initiative statute. That sounds like a fine thing that we should all be in favor of. Prop 5, they oppose it. Changes requirements for certain property owners to transfer their property tax base to replacement property initiative, constitutional amendment, and statute. I'm not real clear on what that proposition is, which is another one I'm going to click on. Do your own research. Oppose Prop 6, eliminates recently enacted road repair and transportation fund day by repealing revenues dedicated for those purposes. Requires any measure to enact certain vehicle fuel taxes and vehicle fees be submitted to and approved by the electorate initiative, constitutional amendment. Wow. It eliminates a recently enacted bond. Yeah, so okay, that's how they fucked the language up. So there was a recently enacted road repair and transportation funding, and they want to repeal revenues dedicated for those purposes. Requires any measure to enact certain vehicle fuel taxes. Yeah, I don't know. The wording on this makes it amazingly convoluted. It's something like that I'm going to read over for sure, and I might just go with, well, if they're saying oppose it, I might just stick with that. Endorse Proposition 7, which is daylight savings time. All right, we're going to fight about that. Fine. Prop 8 authorizes state regulation of kidney dialysis clinics, limits charges for patient care. Yeah, well, this is a good one. This is for kidney dialysis, and of course, big healthcare companies are against it, and they get some doctor, I'm a doctor, and this is not good. So they scare tactic to get you to vote against Prop 8, but in fact, it'll help kidney patients. And the healthcare industry doesn't want to help kidney patients. They just want to help their bottom line. So this one, absolutely. And Prop 10, I am absolutely in favor. Me, Graham Elwood, and the Green Party endorse Proposition 10. This expands local government's authority to enact rent control on residential property. And this is something Abby Martin and Mike Preisner are big fans of. What this does, and I did a video on, several videos on this, my Yes on Prop 10 videos, please watch those for more detail, but basically it lets local governments expand and enact rent control on residential property. It doesn't just automatically grant everybody rent control, but it's any city now, and if this passes, what it would mean was any city in the state of California could put to its voters, hey, we want to enact rent control. Everyone's in favor of this, man. The people who are against it are big management companies, because they bought up all these houses after the recession, and they're renting them because people can't afford or could not afford, can still not afford to buy homes after the '08 recession. And so that's why rents are so high all over the state, especially LA, San Francisco. It's madness. It is madness. Everybody needs this. And the scare tactic they use, the no on 10, is it's going to kill your property values. They're trying to scare homeowners, which is not true. It's not going to hurt your property values. The next recession is going to hurt your property values because Obama didn't regulate the banks. That's what's going to fuck your next property value. It ain't going to be because of Prop 10 if you're a homeowner. I used to be a homeowner. It's not going to fuck it. They oppose Prop 11, which requires private sector emergency ambulance employees to remain on call during work breaks. It sounds like, yeah, sticking it to an emergency worker. And they endorse Prop 12, establishes new standards for confinement of certain farm animals, ban sale of certain non-complying products, initiative stats. Yeah, that sounds like definitely something that's right up the Green Party's alley. And then the other thing you can get from this site, I'm not going to go into all of it because there's a lot, but it is in the show notes, there is at least 27 California Greens are running for the 2018 November 6 elections. And, some of it like school board, but there's Kenneth Mejia, and there's in the 34th district in LA, but there's a couple other people running for Congress as Greens, which means they won the primary. They got the top two. I know some people are critical of the top two open primary thing, but because there's there's two Democrats. It's Dianne Feinstein running against a guy that's just not as bad of a corporate Democrat. I get that. I get that argument. But then in these other districts, it's a Green running against a Democrat. So I think that's good. The problem with the Feinstein election was there was all these progressives running against her in the primary. So it kind of split up the progressive vote amongst 3 or 4 people. Plus, she's got a big war chest. So I still am in favor of open primaries because there's several Greens running. So if you live in the state of California, again, the link is in the show notes, and it'll go into what all the 27 candidates, all the Greens that are running for, and it's like school board. I found out there was someone running for my rent control board here in Santa Monica that I didn't know was a Green, because for those positions, their party preference is not listed in the on the ballot. So this website told me that. So I want a Green on my rent control board for sure, because I live in a rent controlled apartment. So this is a great resource if you're living in the state of California to help you make some decisions come election day, which is November 6th. Vote early and often, as they used to do in Chicago. If you got any dead people, you can register them to vote. Go do that. No, I'm joking. It's a joke. I'm not encouraging election fraud. I'm just for Chicago style. You know what I mean? I like ghost payroll. I like dead people voting. It's the Chicago way. You know what I mean? So thanks for watching the show, you guys. Please support it. Like, subscribe, share out the videos, and all of us together gonna make Gotham great again.